What's a job that's romanticized but in reality sucks?
I strongly suspect being a spy doesn't involve half as many high-tech gadgets and spontaneous sexual intercourse as I've been led to believe. Edit, thanks for all the awards, smiley face. And wow, the way my inbox just blew up, you'd think I'd started an Onlyfans.
Anything in modern-day publishing. How many television shows and movies must I watch where the plucky young upstart graduates from college and gets a job at the magazine or newspaper of their choice and is respected and can make a living? The pay sucks, you're in constant danger of being laid off, when your pub folds, usually, and it's usually a pretty corporate environment where you're tasked with multiple jobs for little hope of advancement. The names high up on the mastheads are usually those of rich people, and it's because they started off rich and could afford to stay in the industry.
From what I've understood, being a cowboy is really awful.
Working on a film. If you're crew, it sucks. Long hours for what seem like very slow progress on the picture, lots of standing around waiting, etc. You arrive well before everyone else and leave after everyone else. If this is an indie production, you also may have to beg/chase down for your pay at the end of each week. Oh, and when the film wraps, you're now unemployed.
Well, this thread is insanely depressing. Are there any good fields to go into? LOL.
Archaeologist, specifically field archaeology. 99% of the time you find absolutely nothing. It's often physically demanding, sometimes grueling, the pay is shit, there are no benefits, you have to constantly travel, there's very little stability. I could go on. Source, have worked in CRM, cultural resource management, archaeology for several years now. Edit, holy shit, this blew up. Just want to stay, in spite of all the bullshit of this field, still love being an archaeologist and don't really want to do anything else for a living, but I can't universally recommend this job to everyone in good faith.
Lawyer. Number of historic, life-changing, precedent-setting cases participated in. 0 number of angry, self-entitled, abusive clients wanting to screw each other over. 842 number of pages of paperwork that's sucked up free time and social life. 84,836.
Everyone used to think it was awesome that I worked in live sports TV. 70% of the people I worked with were miserable pricks with overinflated egos, and then there were the athletes.
Ballerina.
Just had a pretty shit month at work and was considering putting in my papers, but this thread gave me a lot of perspective. Thank you, OP.
Apparently lifeguard, because nobody can find them anymore.
Computer game development, especially testing. That is the ass end of an industry that is mostly ass.
Journalist. Expectation, I'm gonna be the next Hunter S. Thompson and write compelling feature pieces with a unique voice and get paid to travel the world. Reality, talking to my editor about how my contact from the cat fashion show won't call me back or do an interview unless we pay them $80 or adopt 2 cats.
Architect. You think you'll be designing big fancy iconic buildings. Warehouses, Walmarts, strip malls, and shitbox apartments all need architects, and that's probably what you'll end up doing.
Film/television industry. Long, thankless hours. The expectation that you should be available 24/7, otherwise there is a long lineup of replacements waiting for the chance. You might get lucky and work your way to the top, maybe enjoy some fame and fortune, but even there, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Most people have to sell a bit of their soul to get and stay there. And if you don't make it, you either toil away on crew or end up regaling your coworkers in some other industry with exciting stories about your time in the biz, that is if anyone hires you, because they just can't understand why you left the exciting world of Hollywood to come work at the grocery store.
Probably anything in the entertainment industry. It's bogged down by a lot of workers' rights violations, insane hours during crunch time, no work-life balance, and you don't even get paid much because your employers and society at large think it's a privilege to even be working in the industry.
So all of the jobs then?
Anything that requires a lot of travel. Sounds glamorous, but in reality all you see usually an airport, conference room, boring hotel room, and maybe a restaurant if you are lucky. It's exhausting and it actually just sucks.
Anything in the music industry. You're never really off the clock, the pay is terrible pretty much all across the board unless you're in the 1% of the top in any business. People think it's all glamorous because they see the pop stars, the music videos, the award shows. Truth is, it's blood, sweat, tears, stress, lack of sleep, a lot of inappropriate behavior, drugs, fun if you like it, not fun if you don't, alcohol, again, fun if you like it, not fun if you don't, and again, low pay, and then maybe once or twice a year you get a perk of going to an award show with free food, booze and a chance to say hi to some celebs, can't even take a photo with them, really, as it's not deemed professional in a work setting. I've been there for 15 years give or take, branched out, still linked to it in some ways, but I get my money, much better money, might I say, elsewhere now and without as much stress or worry.
Chef/cook, shit pay. Toxic work environment. Shitty hot working conditions. Megalomaniac/incompetent management and owners. Long shitty hours. Working every weekend and every holiday. The only people you will see regularly are your coworkers. And most people descend into alcoholism or drug abuse to cope. Most people get into it because they're passionate about it, and most bosses will take advantage of this. I spent 10 years in this field. I walked away with nothing other than the knowledge I gained, then had to re-enter to workforce at the bottom at the age of 30. Been out 5 years now, and started making more money and working less hours within a year. I wish I'd left sooner.
Veterinary medicine fantasy. I get to work with puppies and kittens reality. A 3-month-old kitten died in my care. I've seen so much gore and blood and neglect. I've sent animals home with invasive cancers because family can't afford treatment. I've been the only comfort shelter animals knew before they left this world. It is a specific and exhausting kind of pain, and it isn't really talked about enough. People who say they couldn't do it because of the euthanasia have no idea. Edit. Thank you to those of you who were kind and respectful. I will not be interacting anymore as recounting some of this is a little emotionally exhausting. But I'm going to plug this link for anyone, vet med or not. Have a good night everyone and be kind to all living things.
Teacher fantasy. IMA changed the world one student at a time reality, poor paying zoo.
Actor/actress. Most don't make it big and many have very short career spans, then fade into obscurity.
Lawyers. Everyone thinks that it's like Suits. Reality reading papers for hours and running behind clients in order to get them to come to the appointment source, my dad.
Masseuse. But it only sucks when people romanticize it. Otherwise, it's pretty awesome. Can suck if people sweat a lot or have massive amounts of body hair that fall off when you rub them so you come out with your arms covered in some dude's back hair. You also get farted on a lot. And hit on. And comments like, oh, I feel sorry for your boyfriend with all that strength in your fingers. Good thing is you can just laugh and push a really sore trigger point to make yourself feel better. Otherwise, it's a pretty awesome job, but definitely not for everyone.
Reading the comments, all jobs really sucks.
Game development. I went to school for it but did not pursue it after and went into something else with transferable skills. My roommate in college is a successful developer and has been for years. He gets fired every time the game comes out and the studio dissolves, which constantly happens. The level of skill required to do his work is about as hard as it gets in terms of programming, yet he gets paid less than a web/app developer. Devs are a dime a dozen now since literally every kid goes to school for CS, so if he doesn't like it he can leave because some fresh grad that's willing to work 100 hours a week would be happy to take his place. They need unions. The worst part? He hates gaming now. That's Suiuawaks.